vlog. Today's May the 20th, and I'm here in Phoebus, right in front of the Chamberlain. So if you guys ever want to have a luxury retirement residence, consider staying and renting with the Chamberlain right here. Very nice, elegant, luxurious property for the elderly. And I heard they also let people stay in there as guests of their residence. So check out the view. Very, very nice. Anyway, we're going to be talking about a few things today. I figure I'll mix things up and talk about what the baby boomers are doing now that everybody's gravitating towards the social media platform to basically get a little bit of income. So imagine that the baby boomers are now taking interest, in the social media market environment. In the past, they were the ones that were opposing it. I mean, I've heard all sorts of opposition from baby boomers regarding the utilization of the social media platform in economic development. Just a few years later, they're the ones that are gravitating to the social media platform much more stronger than the younger folks. So that just tells you that perception and the concept of social media being a nuisance and a source of potential conflict in business is no longer an issue. So yeah, welcome to the year 2026, folks, where the baby boomers are now getting their own channels on YouTube, talking about their retirement and using their platform to travel around the world and make a little bit of income while traveling. So I'm here, like I was saying, in Phoebus, Virginia, and I figured I go for a quick walk and kind of visit a memorial here for those that were enslaved who landed here in Phoebus back in the days. The slave trade back then was fairly prominent, given that manual labor was needed to support economic development and local growth for the agricultural sector. All right, so what else is going on today on May the 20th? Oh yeah, all right, so I almost forgot. I wanted to talk to you guys about the current Republican primaries that's going to be taking place in August. And basically, those who managed to recruit or paid for 10,000 signatures by hiring people to recruit signatures for them, advance onto the ballot. Their name's going to show up on the ballot. And those that didn't have much funds to campaign and to travel and didn't have enough volunteers didn't make it, or will not show up onto the ballot, I should say. Their name's not going to be published on the ballot. Does that mean that they cannot compete? I don't think so. You don't necessarily have to have your name on the ballot. You can have your name written in onto the ballot, and depending on the numbers of votes and names written, you could still advance. Okay, so having 10,000 signatures does not make you qualified to take public office. Doesn't give you the acumen to participate in, public service. It just allows you to show up your name onto the ballot. And most of the time, the establishments, regardless of party, pretty much, already know who it is that will be on the ballot, because they're basically going to most likely support who they feel would advance, or who they perceive has the ability to win against whoever it is that they're opposing. So the contest is pretty much decided by the establishment. It's not decided by the public. There's nothing, the public have control over regarding who will be representing them in public office. Because majority of the public don't really participate in the election. Okay, there's only a small number of people that shows up during, an election and vote for whoever it is that they believe would serve their interests. Wow, I didn't see this here before. And it looks like I'm walking really fast. Okay, so like I was saying, whoever wins, or not really win, but whoever accumulates the 10,000 signatures will manage to have their name show up on the ballot. So this pier is being closed, unfortunately, so we're not going to be able to go in there. Just hoping we can sightsee the end of the pier, but I guess we're going to have to adore the pier from a distance. Are y'all able to see the duck? And that looks like a stork. I'm not really sure if it's a stork, but it looks like a stork. There's a duck over there right on the railing, and another duck that just went underwater. It looks like he's trying to catch his dinner. Yep. Anyway, so I just thought I'd point this out because as a candidate who was basically told I will never be the nominee before I can even submit our signatures, and before even the primaries were to take place, they pretty much voted me off the island before I even got to participate. So basically, and so that's something that I'm still trying to figure out, why I was dealt with and treated the way that they dealt me. Granted that we're from the same party, or I thought that we're from the same party, but there we are. We're trying to contemplate what precipitated that treatment. Okay, folks. So yeah, having said this, let's segue into another podcast subject that I talked about recently on my podcast on which party has the most intelligent people supporting it. And feel free to opine. If you have any suggestions, let me know. Oh, by the way, check this out. See this place here, you military fort, and you can see that the fort had guns there, and they are still in display. Okay, this is probably one of the oldest military forts in the country. So anyway, the guns are pointing in that direction because back then the British and other foreign military, mostly European, came in this direction and tried to attack this part of the Hampton Roads, because this is an entry point to the Hampton Roads. So they would sail right there and kind of maroon themselves right around this area so that they can maneuver their ships throughout the Hampton Roads region in this body. So this is a kind of historical body of water almost, because before America became America, there were a lot of battles and a lot of killing involved that was basically created by the banging of heads of the superpowers back then, mostly Western European countries. They were attacking each other basically, and America was caught in between a rock and a hard place, because America decided to become an independent state and country. So wow, we've walked pretty fast. So I guess I wasn't even expecting it. It hasn't been, it's not even 20 minutes, but it looks like I managed to cover some distance in less than 20 minutes. So over here is where you can see people fishing off the pier. It's like it's, free for the public to come up and fish. Anyway, this is a really nice place to hang out and kind of enjoy the view, because it's away from the tourists. As y'all can see right there, most of these people live in this area, so they know where to go and fish basically. So these are fairly clean, swimmable bodies of water. But going back to our topic, which party has the most educated and intelligent people? I will not opine on it right now. I want you guys to consider the question and let me know what you think. One thing I would say though is that in the year 2026, what constitutes being smart? What constitutes being qualified to engage on public discourse in terms of how society and government and economics is supposed to be addressed? Do we need people who grew up in the season when everybody was pretty much stuck on stupid? Or do we want people who grew up in seasons where people are learning and adapting? It's your call. You guys make a decision on what you think would justify the meeting of the minds. How are people going to be engaging in politics and should engage in today's world? Okay, that's something that you guys need to consider, given that many of these political parties nowadays are still reflecting on past conflicts and issues that really has nothing to do with anything today, but they're still fighting over the same old garbage and crap, and they don't want new voice, new ideas to get in the way of their garbage, because they want to hold on to their overall I guess animosity and bitterness. So the same grift, new people, same grift from back in the day, and they don't want anybody that would escalate the tension to get involved, because if you get in between two heads that are banging without really knowing why they're banging heads, you become a casualty of war. And that's what's happening in our politics in America. Okay, folks. Anyway, I hope you guys are doing well. I can't really give you shout outs right now because I can't see who it is that have joined me today, but I will eventually give you guys a shout out when I'm able to read your names on this video blog. So check this out. Somebody left this sign. Can you all see that? So all right, quick shout out, like if I can see your name. Dragon King, hello, thanks for joining me on my walk today. I apologize, I can't see everyone's name right now, but I will try to give you a shout out eventually. So this is a really nice walk. It's a couple miles long, I think, and it's very, very, attractive to watch and look at, because it's the bay. Okay, and there's a nice breeze blowing right now too, so I'm not as sweaty as I would have been if I was in downtown. Yeah, so let's see here. Look how shallow the water is right now. Very, very shallow water, perfect to just sit and let the wave splash on you. Anyway, so yeah, going back to what I was talking about, which party has the most intelligent people within it? So how would I define intelligence? Intelligence are people that knows how to de-escalate conflict, people that understand today's reality in the new world marketplace, those people that aren't necessarily the best, orator, but they're one of the best thinkers. So I think that's something that ought to be considered when we talk about intelligence. So anyway, yeah, it's one of those things very few people reflect on, because when you're stuck on stupid, you don't want people telling you you're stuck on stupid. So that's just how it is. Anyway, we've got a couple more minutes of walk in that direction, and then we will turn around and go back to where we came from. Okay, folks, but this is a very nice walk, better than the streets where I typically walk at. There's hardly any noise, and the breeze makes it so much better to enjoy a brisk walk without having to sweat so much. So anyway, let's go back to the baby boomers, since I have some friends that are up there, they're much older than I am, and I consider them as baby boomers, and I tried to get them to consider starting their own social media platform, channel, and all that stuff, so that they can amass a little bit of viewers and subscribers, so they can make a little bit of income. One of them actually blew up his subscriber base. I mean, he's got so much subscribers now that he doesn't even use his pension fund. He just basically creates his content on his YouTube channel, and he gets a little bit of income off of his channel, and he travels around the world, or at least around Asia, using that income from his YouTube channel. So that's something that people ought to consider, given that there's going to be a lot less jobs around, and the US will most likely reduce capacity of the marketplace due to AI and Internet of Things and blockchain technology, all these new emerging technologies that will basically, in a way, disrupt the market, but it's going to make the market somewhat more efficient too. So what will happen to the jobs of those people that will basically be affected? Most of them will transition into artificial intelligence, automation. And therefore, if you have a job, consider having some sort of side gig using social media. And if you don't have a job, consider having a social media platform that is active and will be a good source of income for you. Okay, it's not easy to create a platform on social media. I've talked about this, but at least you have to start somewhere and grow your subscriber base, and keep at it. Eventually you'll hit your targets and your numbers, and things will work out for you. All right, folks. So with that said, to the baby boomers that I had the opportunity to talk to, I often tell them to, just kind of use what they've learned from the past and throughout their lives to influence the public with it and put it on social media, because the marketplace will not get any easier. It's going to be more fierce, more competitive, given that the market is transitioning into a knowledge-based marketplace. And when the market becomes a knowledge-based marketplace, then a lot of what the public will have to do is create intellectual assets, and intellectual assets will become their social media platform. Okay, folks, that's just the new world market normal in capacity building and economic development today, and it will not change, given that most people want to have freedoms in work-life balance and be able to live and work where they want to live and work, and not have to live off of their alarm clock in the morning. Everyone's looking for freedom nowadays, and freedom is extremely difficult to achieve unless you become creative. Now, I'm not saying that you should leave your job, okay? What I'm saying is supplement your current income source with what's available in the marketplace. And if you do not have a job, then consider creating an online platform that could become your full-time job eventually when you start generating additional income and revenue and subscribers. Okay, folks, that's what I'm talking about, and this is happening all over the world, not just in the US. So I guess that's why in the earlier years of the social media platform, many of the baby boomers were pretty cynical and does not trust the social media platform too much, which I don't blame them. When I decided to write my book on the utilization of the social media platform and economic development back then, when I was still in college, people thought I was crazy. And look where it is today. Everything is being affected and overly promoted on the social media environment. Okay, folks, so it's just the reality of things, and it will continue to evolve, in which artificial intelligence will be intelligent than society of this world. And it's actually happening now. You have the chat GPT, you have your pilot on your Word, Microsoft Word document. So everything is basically being influenced today by artificial intelligence. I've been walking and it's getting warm. I'm hot right now. Better get some water. Even though the breeze is cooling me down, it's easy to get dehydrated when you're walking and not knowing that your skin temperature is cooler, but your internal temperature is warm, because you don't really sense it until you've already been dehydrated. So, and I'm speed walking right now too. So anyway, what I was going to say is that the marketplace has gotten very competitive because of artificial intelligence, and also because of the opening of the global marketplace, where people around the world can compete with Americans in terms of capacity and overall scale, and vice versa. Americans can somewhat compete with other countries, but unless they are able to communicate fluently in the local language of a country, it could get very challenging for them to compete, because even though you can translate websites that are in foreign languages today, there are still people around the world that do not speak English the way that America speaks English. So that's just the reality of things. So it's gotten warm, and luckily, you know, this part of Virginia is surrounded by the Chesapeake Bay and various bodies of water, so there's a lot of options on where to go and swim. But for me, this area is a great place to basically just walk and enjoy the view and the breeze, and I can always take a break. Don't have to deal with you know, all these traffic. So once I hit the end of this boardwalk, I will turn around and head back to where I came from. So I might be able to do my video blog longer today because of the distance that I have to walk. Maybe I'll expand on other things also to talk about. But yep, really nice view right there. Y'all can see them. Not a lot of people either, so it's perfect to go running, playing volleyball or soccer, whatever, taking pictures. This is one of the hidden treasures of the Hampton Roads community. Very few people knows about this area, and I hope I didn't expose it to the point that tourists will come over this way now and not go to the touristic section of the Hampton Roads, because we don't want a lot of tourists in this part of the Hampton Roads. Just want to keep it the way it is right now. But just look how calm everything is. Not a lot of people, plenty of real estate here. So yeah, and check out that view, it's amazing. I think I'm gonna take a break and sit down once I get to the end of this boardwalk. It does say it's 91 degrees outside, and I think I'm overly dressed here right now to be on the beach with jeans on and a backpack. So I'm getting warmer than I needed to be, and I'm gonna have to take a break eventually. With that said, folks, like I was saying, please let me know if there's anything that you would like for me to talk about, and you know, find one. But ultimately, what I want you to consider are those subjects that I shared with you. Look at that. Very, very nice. It's our moss. Just kind of grew on the side here. There's quite a bit of moss that isn't accessible to the public because it's way too slippery to be on that wall there. I see some women taking pictures and videos here. But I wouldn't get up that high up on these walls because the moss are pretty slick and could be dangerously slippery in there if you were to climb up. So anyway, so they're there taking some videos. All right, folks, I think we've covered a pretty good portion of what I'm going to be talking about in my next podcast. Just wanted you guys to get a, somewhat of a heads up to what I'm going to be talking about on my next podcast, just because, right now, people are so scared to speak their minds, to be seen in public, and to opine on certain issues that are going on in our country and the world, because they don't want to be judged, they don't want to be ostracized, they don't want to be singled out. So the world has become a sheep. Many are so scared to talk about issues that are extremely important to be talked about, given that they don't want to be judged by the public. So I saw this statement one time when you say, when it stated that say nothing, do nothing, and be nothing. And for the most part, people are comfortable with that. So many people nowadays would let injustice, corruption, illegal, nefarious, evil activities to take place rather than pointing it out and speaking, up against it, because they fear that they could be targeted, that people would, single them out, like I said. And because of that, we have more social problems today than ever before. Not only people use the social media platform to endorse certain concepts and ideas, but they're also attacking people using the social media platform in a way that they think that they're never going to be caught, or no one would know who they are. That's why there's a lot of fake social media accounts. Okay, folks. All right. Let's see if we can find a shade and sit under the shade. I don't see any, but I guess this will have to do here for now. Alright, unfortunately I'm not able to see what everyone is writing on their messages, just because it's too bright out here. But we will sit down and enjoy the view for a little bit. then work our way back. Okay, so let's do 40 minutes. It's almost an hour walk from one end of this boardwalk to the this end. Okay, folks, that is quite a bit of walking today, but it's definitely worth it. You know, never take exercise for granted. As I get older, that's something that I've gotten to appreciate more. Is that my health is extremely important to me nowadays. Okay, and so I tend to put it above and beyond whatever else it is that I'm doing and engage in. I will keep on our video blog for a couple more minutes, and then I'll turn off our video blog and head back to where I came from and walk a little bit slower this time. So hope you guys are enjoying time with me and reflecting on our conversation, and get to enjoy nature wherever you're at. Okay, folks. So, yep. That said, make sure to like, subscribe, and share our YouTube channel and video blog with your family and friends. Always nice to have additional subscribers on our platform. And also feel free to, provide an opinion, statement, message, whatever. So we have something for us to discuss. Until we meet again, take care.